What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're taking a look at Baldur's Gate 3 here on GeForce Now's Ultimate tier with the RTX 4080. Now, we'll be targeting 120 FPS, but the game is going to be all over the place at 4K, which is fine. I just want to see what it would do. Our stream will stay a nice solid 120 though, and I have a really good connection to the server with some fairly low latency, which is typically the case for me here. But let's go ahead and get into it a little bit more. So as far as the settings go, we are at 4K, capping at 120 FPS and no VSync turned on. And we are just maxed out on the ultra settings, but I'm using DLSS balance to kind of help things here a bit. Now at 1440p, I can run 120 pretty solid, and at lower settings, I can also run the 4K at higher frame rate, typically more often and without as much dips and things happening. But I think I would probably just lock 4K down to 60 ultimately, but I did leave things unlocked for this video just so that we could see performance, and most of the time it holds quite well and it looks gorgeous. This game looks amazing anyway, but streaming in 4K from GFN, it just looks fantastic. And transitioning in and out of cutscenes can have its dips on all systems I've tested this on, but GFN does recover from those pretty quickly. And streaming at this 4K resolution and the ultra settings, it looks fantastic. The character models in this game anyway are just so well done, as is the voice acting and the story. I've just really come to love this game in the past week or so of playing it, and it just really is represented very well here on GFN. Now, moving around the world, your FPS is going to bounce all over, which is fine. You'll see that during the video. Again, there's ways to mitigate that or lock things down, but ultimately, there's no stutters, there's no pixelation or bitrate issues. There were no really problems of any kind that I ran across while streaming this with GFN, which was great to see, and I didn't really expect less. I mean, most of my testing here with GFN, especially since the Ultimate tier and the 3080, then the 4080, has been extremely good. But a lot of these newer titles are, I'll tell you, they haven't been well optimized, they've been difficult to run, and even GFN can have its issues. But I will say, since launch here for Baldur's Gate 3, it's run very well on GFN. It's also run really well on my Steam Deck, my Ally, my local PC here. So even though the game has a lot of room for improvement and optimization, it isn't a mess or a problem like so many other games. In combat and bringing up menus and everything like that, I did use the controller a little bit to test that out here, because the game does have a great setup for using a controller, which isn't surprising. The game's coming to PlayStation in September, so we know they've already been working on controller support, and that worked great here through GFN. So I prefer playing with mouse and keyboard. It's a little easier for a game like this, but the controller support here for me through the PC app using my Xbox controller was fantastic. I didn't have any problems. It completely changes the UI of the game and the movement, so it does feel a lot different to play it with controller, and a lot of people might prefer it. There are certain aspects I do like with a controller more, and some I like with the mouse and keyboard. What's cool with GeForce Now is I can easily have my controller on here and just pick it up and click a button, and the game just switches over, and if I touch the mouse, it switches back over. So you can go back and forth, which is nice to see. And as usual with the GFN 4080, input latency, not that you would notice it a lot with a game like this anyway, but it's virtually non-existent as far as just it feeling close to local in a game like this where there's not a lot of high movements, turn-based combat, and that type of thing. Also, if you run across this house, you might want to avoid it. There's some shenanigans going on here, and yeah, I loaded up a different save and avoided that altogether. But anyways, the game looks great. I'm getting super addicted to it. Really surprised at the success of this game, how good it is. Love seeing it on GeForce Now. I know it was there during early access, but to see them have a smooth launch for the most part for its real day one PC release was great to see. They had a great launch on PC in general and also on GeForce Now, which was awesome. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Are you playing Baldur's Gate 3? Are you on the fence about it? The great thing about GeForce Now and it running so well there is you can literally play this game just about anywhere. And with the great controller support, even a backbone on your phone or something like that is really useful, and the game plays really well that way. So the fact that it's built so well for mouse and keyboard and really well for controller, and you pair that with GeForce Now, you've got a fantastic 75 to 100 hour game that you can take with you anywhere and play just about any time. So a great pair up here for Baldur's Gate 3 and GeForce Now. Anyways, guys, thanks a lot for coming to check out the video. As always, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.